On.
All right.
I'm,
Want to know why Whitebeard wins?
I mean, no, obviously I don't, because I don't think Whitebeard wins. I'm just asking, like, how strong is Whitebeard?
How strong is Whitebeard?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it a buck 50. I don't think he wins AP. I think he just Duranegs and beats up Naruto.
Well, first things first, then. If you don't think he wins, if so Naruto has higher AP, what's his durability?
His durability?
Yeah.
Well, he should be able to tank his own attacks because like he fights people with his like devil fruit, and his devil fruit has like an AP statement, and then those people can also damage him.
So like Naruto's AP would be able to like destroy his body then, right?
Yeah, basically, I'm fine
Okay,
with that.
okay. That's fine with me. All right, why do you think you
All
can
right.
Duraneg?
Why do you think he can Duraneg? There's this guy named Kaido. He said, what's his name? Roger. He's like Whitebeard's rival, right? In basically all aspects. He said Roger conquered the world with just hockey alone. And I think you might know what hockey is, but hockey is basically like the embodiment of will. And during the Wano arc, it's about Luffy mastering his hockey to the point where he can Duraneg people. So it's for Kaido
Okay,
to say, well, he conquered.
there's a handful of things I have to like ask you. For one, how do you like verify to me that he's equal in all aspects? Like Roger and Whitebeard are equal in all aspects.
All right, so there's this thing called Conqueror's hockey, right? And it's basically, like I said, hockey. Since hockey is will, you can probably infer that Conqueror's hockey is like how much willpower they have to conquer the world type shit. And
Okay,
if they're stated to be rivals back in the day, back in their primes, then that should just imply that Whitebeard also had around the same amount of hockey.
why?
All right, like which part? Which part? You want me to show you that they're relative, or do you want me to show you why they should have the
No,
same amount?
I'm sure you're not lying to me about them being like relative. I'm specifically asking why them being relative in like overall means that they're relative in like every individual aspect. I'd also like just like a description of like Conqueror's hockey that's in the series, just so I can look at it.
All right,
If possible.
let me get that first scan. Let me just get their hockey stuff.
Okay, you get the first scan first, just so I can see it. Mm.
You want me just to drop the scan that gives the explanation of Conqueror's hockey?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can do
I'm
that.
fine with that.
Give the Gump if you have the one that explains advanced armament and advanced conquerors, you can drop those. Because I was gonna bring up advanced armament later.
Feeling like this will probably go back to speed. Do I care? Do I even care this much about this? I'll have a little read through that first.
All right. Check evidence. You see
Okay.
on the right, on the bottom right panel, on the right side is Prime Whitebeard. On the left side is Roger. And right now they're doing this thing called the hockey clash. That's why their swords aren't touching, but there's like lightning implying that there's something happening there. That's advanced
Okay.
conquerors.
Advanced Conquerors. Okay, so that's all right. And then Conquerors Hockey explained. Those with the innate traits of a ruler have the ability to subdue all living things. Among all the types of hockey, Conqueror's hockey is an ability even the most skilled users hardly display. It is capable of making those around you lose consciousness after they feel intimidated by the deadly intent emanating from the user's entire body. Ever since the dawn of time, it's been said that many kings and rulers possess this power. Uh, Conqueror's aura increases as your power grows, or as you grow. Conquerors doesn't require training in the early stages with their own power. Ace manifest conquerors hockey. You can freely manipulate.
What Gump posted is just normal conquerors. What I said is that they have like bare minimum similar advanced. So let me just find the
It's possible to even manipulate others to your will. With practice, one can even adjust the power, duration, and range with which they influence others. In battles against many opponents, a true champion, well equipped with Conqueror's hockey, radiates fierce ambition in all directions just by unleashing their fighting spirit. Masters. And then this one. Okay, so like, you think this will like work on Naruto?
Well, yeah, if it attacks, let me just find this other scan because like basically the argument goes if it attacks the insides as well, and it's just stated by Kakashi that like you can't strengthen your insides. So if Whitebeard gets a punch off,
I dropped the armament one for you, Concrete. The advance of hockey.
It
all
was a
right, thank you.
shame if you had ability. Oh, so it can like damage the internal organs. Okay.
Yeah. So
Um.
so if like Whitebeard has enough speed to hit Naruto with this, and you know you're probably aware of the Kakashi statement, then that should
Yeah,
just
I'm
mean
aware.
like
You know
Whitebeard.
what? Yeah, this is fine. You can do it now. I think. I mean, how fast is Whitebeard though?
He should be like bare minimum one blitz level above light speed.
Why do you think that?
All right, because when he's old, sick and dying, he Marco, which is like one of his crewmates, which is one of Whitebeard's crewmates, he says, uh, if Whitebeard was normal or healthy, he would be able to dodge any of these attacks, even from an ally, while he was off guard. And Marco is also light speed, so that should just imply prime Whitebeard above old Whitebeard, who should just be able to dodge light speed attacks even while off guard. So that should just like I think it's pretty blatant that he should be like
Okay,
Blair.
that sounds like to me he's like light speed, not necessarily a blitz level above light speed.
Well, like let me. There's another argument to get him a blitz level. I'm just choosing the simpler one, so I'll just try to break this down. So like if like let's say Marcus, you're walking with your friend, he's like behind you, and then he tries to punch you, but you dodge it. Don't you agree that should be like significantly faster? If you can like notice
Uh,
that the punch is coming towards you and then you dodge it even while you weren't expecting it.
no, not necessarily.
All right. Why not then?
I mean, why would it be? You're the one making the claim.
I
Actually,
guess
I'm not
you're
gonna be
right.
fucking mean. I'm not gonna be mean. I'll just explain why as well. Basically, just because you were able, like, specifically in reference, like, I'm assuming they can like still sense things even if they're off guard, right?
Uh, I mean, they can. There's this thing called observation hockey that allows them to technically do that. But the way Marco makes the statement is he says even while off guard, and that should just imply that like when they're on on their ship, no active enemy. If someone were to try to punch Whitebeard when he shouldn't have observation hockey on, he'd be able to dodge it. And Marco also
So, so
includes
how,
himself.
so how does he register it then?
How does he register it?
Yeah,
Uh, Let me think.
like, does he have like superhuman senses that kind of like even when off guard, he can like hear like air moving or whatever, or
Well,
like,
maybe you could just apply that. Maybe if it's coming from the front.
okay,
So I mean,
if it's just like him, like if somebody punches me, or if I'm like, say, I'm focused on my phone, right? I'm scrolling through my phone, and my friend throws a punch. Well, he comes towards me and he throws a punch. There's still like peripheral vision, even if I'm not expecting it. My brain still registers that information. I can still dodge, even though I wouldn't be blitzing him normally anyway, because there's like no examples of human beings who can like blitz one another. Like if I could just like find an example of someone like a random YouTube video of somebody like getting punched or punched at while not focusing and like being able to avoid it. And since I'm sure we agree, like most average people aren't blitzing one another, they would kind of be a nail in the coffin for your argument. So
I mean, I guess I don't even know why I did this. Let me just choose a simpler one. I'll just drop that skill. The reason why Whitebeard should be a blitz level above is because this nigga named Shanks he blitzes a light speed up. He blitzes a light speed guy. Let me show you that.
uh okay, yeah, can you show me that? That's cool.
All right. So here he is. In evidence, if you check evidence, you see Shanks blocking an attack from Akainu, and Akainu is one of the three Marine admirals, and another Marine admiral who he's relative to. His name is Kizaru, and he has the light fruit or the glint fruit. He allows him to move at light speed, so that should just imply if they're relative, and Shanks can blitz Akainu, then that should just also apply to Kizaru, who's bare minimum light speed.
Is it stated that it's a blitz? Is like there a reason why you think it's a blitz?
Okay, the reason why it's a blitz is because it's crossed the battlefield, and like Akainu should be on guard because it's stated he doesn't hold back, even if it's against even if it's
Okay, so
against explosive.
so he runs across the battlefield.
Yeah, I can show
So
you that. I'll show you
is
where
that
his ship
travel
lands.
speed? Okay, you can show me that, but that sounds like travel speed, not
Okay,
combat speed.
even if it's travel speed, right? Shanks still has to move his sword to block the attack because like if he's just
Where was
running,
his
he's still
sword? Where was his sword? Like for me, it just sounds like okay, if he has to run over there and block the attack, but in order to do that, he has to get there before he like finishes swinging his punch, and all he has to do is draw his sword and then use his travel speed. Then the actions they do with their combat speed, that being like lifting or moving their arms somewhat, it just seems relative to me.
okay. So you're saying like, are
Maybe
you
it's
fine with like
probably like
their
I'll say this. It's probably Shanks favoring because he has to do that and then use his travel speed. But like their combat speed should still be like in the same ballpark. So just like
okay?
light
So
speed.
okay, so wait. So you're saying so let me get this straight. You're saying that Shanks's like combat speed is light speed, even though he blitzes a kind.
Yeah, I'd say so. Because even if like he like runs across the battlefield and like blocks his attack before he's able to like perform like a smaller action, like the travel speed aspect can just be a lot faster than the combat speed, for example. And so if the actions they perform that are like similar in this moment, which is them moving their arms, and then it's just travel speed from there, it's just like okay, like Shank should definitely be faster, but he like there's no reason to like assume it's a blitz or whatever.
Oh, okay. I
Like
see what you.
I'm
Okay,
fine with like somewhat vaguely faster than light.
all right, but the okay. Let me think. Okay, so you're saying that. All right. Shit. Uh, well, I think combat speed should generally be faster than travel speed in the first.
Why?
Okay, the reason why is because in One Piece, for example, Luffy, even though his body proportions are abnormal, he like every time he attacks, he just attacks like a normal human. Whenever he throws a regular punch, he attacks like a normal human. And most humans' combat speed should be above their travel speed.
Yeah, why? Why are most people's combat speed above their travel speed?
Okay.
And there are also like hold on. There are also like a lot of different factors that go into like anime characters.
Well,
Like
yeah, I'm aware. That's
yeah,
why I
like these
specified.
anime characters, like for example, like these anime characters might do like different training, or they might like amp their bodies in certain ways that more so favors like travel to combat speed and stuff like that. Like there's so many like distinctions that go
Okay. Well,
beyond
the
like your physical body.
all right. Okay. The reason why I'm aware of all that. The reason why I made I said what I said earlier about like Luffy attacking like a normal human is even though he does have like modes that like make his limbs bigger to have like higher AP, and he does have like a mode to make him faster than normal. It also applies to his combat speed, right? For the one that makes him faster, the mode that makes him faster, it still applies to his combat speed, and his combat speed should be similar to that. Or like the way he fights and punches should be similar to that of a human. And right now, I'm trying to prove that combat speed is above travel speed.
Okay, so all it sounds like is this ability amp combat speed as well as travel speed, right?
Yeah. So I'm saying
Then
like
it's like well, I don't see how that leads you to the conclusion that combat speed is always like better than travel speed.
okay, because okay, the reason why is because Shanks also fights. Every time we've seen Shanks on screen, he also seems to fight like a normal human, even though he should be way faster, stronger than normal humans, right? So I'm saying what I'm trying to
So
build here. What I'm trying to build
fighting
here.
like hold on, fighting like a normal human in what way? Like he uses similar techniques to normal humans.
He
He swings
he,
his arms
he
and
swings
blocks.
like he swings his swords like he doesn't like swing his sword backwards with like a inverted wrist or something like that. He like swings it normally like a normal human would. That's what I mean.
Okay, but then it's like I don't see why that also in turn means that his combat speed and his travel speed are like or that combat speed is faster than travel speed here or whatever.
Okay, what okay, so yeah, I know it's kind of a confusing argument. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, well, if he seems to attack and fight like a normal human, all I need to do is prove that combat speed for normal humans is above travel speed. That's what I'm trying to prove right now.
Okay, but like, no. Okay, so the point that I'm making is not that like their combat is any different, therefore they should be superior in X and Y aspects instead of like Z aspects or whatever. I'm saying that like due to the fact that there are differences beyond just normal biology with these characters that applies because obviously muscle is pretty much like muscle like yeah, and the energy you get from what you eat are practically what powers your body. But there are other factors in like these characters, like their like magical abilities or whatever, that also apply to them that go beyond just like muscle and like energy. So it's basically what it boils down to is you're trying to say just because humans do it, therefore it's the same for these characters, and they fight the same, so it means that all other aspects are the same. Now, explaining to you that isn't like necessitated by that.
Okay. All right. Uh. Okay. But the problem with that is you try to see. So let me get this straight, just to be sure. You said, well, because in anime and like manga, they have different ways. Like manga characters are just different from humans in like certain ways. So therefore, I can't
Yeah,
correlate.
yeah. And
Uh.
basically, manga characters. What I specifically said was humans have like real life people have like muscle, and not only do they have muscle, they have like the energy they get from food, right? That's how we power our bodies. But these people have that and then like more. So like there are certain unknowns in the more category that you can't then like retroactively say because humans work X way that these characters work the same way.
Okay, but the problem with that is that Shanks doesn't seem to have any of those things that could classify as like not normal. Because like
Does
all
he
he
not have
has,
like hockey?
well, he does have hockey, but I don't think it's ever stated or shown that hockey boosts speed. So you can't say like, oh, it can amp his speed different ways. And he also doesn't have like a devil
Hold on.
fruit. Hmm?
So like let's so like does hockey at all amp your body?
It doesn't amp your physical body. All it does is like amp your attacks. Like we see through Conquerors and Advanced Armament, like Gump posted earlier.
Okay. So then like what is the difference between an attack and like running in physical movement that would mean that hockey doesn't apply to that?
Say that again.
Is there anything? Well, what's the difference in a running action and a combat attack that means that like hockey doesn't work for that?
Okay, what I mean. Oh, let me just rephrase my argument then. What I mean by when I sent that is like when I said that is like again, advanced armament and advanced conquerors work outside of the body, right? That's how it's able to affect internal organs, even if
Outside
even
of
if you
the
don't
body.
touch.
But like
So yeah, it
you can
works.
like propel
Like
yourself. Hold on, you can like propel yourself with stuff outside of your body.
no, but like every time we see advanced conquerors used, it's always propelling in front. It's like it doesn't push the person. It's always attacking
So
in
does that
front of
mean
them.
it's does that mean it's limited to that?
Uh, but again, I'm not sure if like Gump would probably have made me aware of it by now. Because like I'm not sure if there's
Okay.
anything that ever says
Okay,
like
well,
in
if that's the
Conquer.
case, it just sounds like you don't know. Also, what chapter is this?
Which chapter is what?
The scan you sent and evidence with him like blocking fireman.
Let me go get it real quick. The
Yeah,
it's this happens towards the end of the chapter, and then we see it ship the next chapter. I'll just tell you that. So let me get the chapter.
okay, got you. I mean, I'm just looking for the context in case there's an easier way of going about this, but I feel like we're closing the end of this point anyway because it just says you don't know, like you can't like verify this feat. You're missing key information that would help
Well,
verify
actually,
this.
no. We Gump posted the definition of conquerors, and we see Kaido talk about conquerors to Luffy and armament to Luffy. He explained the guide and Kaido both say like the description of the ability, and it doesn't mention speed. like increasing speed. So I don't
That
think
just
you could
sounds
argue.
like an argument from ignorance, though, because it's like they don't need to explain all the ways it can be applied. They just can explain how it fundamentally works, and then the viewer can be left to infer all of those individual aspects.
But okay, the problem with that though is that there's another guy in the series who also explains hockey to Luffy, and he trains Luffy to master hockey throughout the 2 year time skip. And when he's explaining it to Luffy, I don't think you can make the argument or say like in like an honest fashion that he's withholding information about hockey to Luffy, even though he's trying to teach him
He
about it.
doesn't necessarily have to be withholding information. He just doesn't need to like go into all the nuances and depths of it. There's a difference between withholding information and explaining a concept to somebody that can be implied in numerous ways, and then that person just discovers those ways on their own.
Okay, well the problem with what you're saying though is that you said, well, he doesn't need to go into the nuances, but the whole like basically what hockey is ways to improve a fighter's ability, right? We see conquerors hockey like it imposes their will on others. We see advanced conquerors like it makes the will like basically physical, right? Which like the advanced hockey class, right? And then so that should just like imply if hockey is like all about making the person stronger and like a better opponent or like a better fighter, I don't think it would make sense for Rayleigh to withhold information about speed in this sense.
But hold on.
Wouldn't that help? Wouldn't that help him be a better
We
fighter?
already discussed this, and I said that it's not withholding information. Let's say, for example, I was we were both Uchiha, and I was teaching you how to use your Sharingan. And I said, the Sharingan grants you the ability to use Genjutsu, and I demonstrate how to use Genjutsu. It is not withholding information for me not to explain the numerous ways that you can use Genjutsu in combat under different circumstances. Like, it's not withholding information for me to say, oh, yeah, you can make subtle changes in the opponent's perception of reality that allow you to get massive advantages or secure victories in fights, like what Sasuke did to Danzo, where he made him think his Izanagi eye was still open when it wasn't. That's not withholding information. That's me giving you the information, and there are just limitless ways that said information can be applied. So when it comes to these examples of Luffy being taught this ability, as a teacher, them not teaching him all of the individual unique ways that can be applied. Like, let's say, you want to fucking put something in the bin, but it's really far away. You flick it with hockey and it gets shot into the bin or something. He doesn't need to explain all of those like nuances and aspects. He just needs to explain how it works, and then it's like you can yourself learn or invent new ways in which it can be used.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Well, okay. Okay, then fuck. So okay, so if I say what you're saying is right, that means like Whitebeard and people like Shanks can travel at like blitz levels above light speed, but their combat speed should be around light speed. It's basically what you're saying.
Yeah, their combat speed should be around like light speeds, and their traveling speed can be like. Well, I still want like a chapter so I can just fully verify if I think it's like
Yeah.
a blitz level above, or it's just like outspeeding considerably. Because I do think that's like relevant.
I'm trying to find it. Okay, here's a big shot of fucking Marineford where they're at. Okay, Shanks pulls up. Jesus sword.
Wait, who are these two characters' names, by the way? Shanks and who?
Shanks and Akainu.
Akainu.
AKA
chapter 580. Is it 580 correct?
Yeah. I think it's 580. Or no, actually try 579.
This is the end, the red hair pirate instead of the agreement.
Yeah, it's 579 when he blocks Akainu. I don't know why the Google says 580.
Okay. Weird. I don't see Shanks here. Is Shanks showing somewhere earlier in the chapter?
Well, I'll just post the scan here. Okay,
Okay,
so
please do, because I'm reading
this
through this
page,
chapter, and I mean, oh my god, the paneling for one is awful here. This is awful paneling. But like,
yeah.
where's Shanks here? Because you said he was like halfway across the battlefield, but I can't. I
Okay,
don't.
if you check evidence, we see in the background the main ship in the middle of the middle panel. That's Shanks's ship. Yeah, I'll show
And
you.
is he on it?
Yeah, they just said he arrived. He wasn't at Marineford. The reason why he came here is because, like, one, he's one of the strongest guys in the world, so he should be able to stop this war, right? So that's why he would
Is
be on
this in
that ship.
579?
Yeah, this is 579. This is the page right after he blitzes Akainu. That shows where his ship was at before he
But
arrived.
like, okay, that shows where his ship was at. But was he on the ship just before Akainu started punching?
Just before Akainu starts. Okay. Uh, well, I think it should be implied because Akainu's just stated like there's a statement that says he shows no mercy to anyone, right? So when he's like when he's trying to punch that guy that Shanks saves, it should just be pretty implied that he should also have his observation hockey on. And observation hockey allows others to sense people. And if Shanks is able to get there before he can even react, that should just be consistent with the blitz.
Well, hold on. Wait, what
So
was
like
your
even if you
justification
wanna,
for? Hold on. What was your justification for him having his like observation? Did you say observation hockey on?
yeah. Well, let me show you. It's this one statement that says he shows no mercy against other people.
No mercy against other people. So no mercy against other people means his observation hockey is on.
Yeah, it should be because, like, again, hockey in general is just ways you apply your willpower. And if he shows no mercy in like one way, that should also apply to other people to the other ways as well.
What the fuck?
I'll
CJ,
rephrase it.
CJ, if I ask you why, you do have an answer, right?
Why to what?
If I ask you why does him showing no mercy, and when he fights people, means that he shows no mercy or doesn't hold back in all of his other aspects at that point in time, you would be able to answer, right?
Yeah. Let me just find this game
Okay,
first because you asked.
because you're aware that let's say his observation hockey is fully on. I'm assuming it works like a sense, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like Sage Mode in the Sharingan in a
Okay,
sense, like advanced
aware
observation.
you're aware that you can have a sense and not be paying attention to it, right? So in this
Well,
moment where
that
he's not
shouldn't.
showing mercy, in this moment where he's not showing mercy and wants to kill this person, what if he's just not paying attention to his other senses?
Well, that shouldn't be the
If
case because
anything,
there's
I'd
still
say him
active.
not showing mercy is actually a detriment to you. Because I can just say, okay, if he doesn't show mercy and he's kind of like bloodlusty like that, where he like doesn't hold back whatsoever when he tries to kill people, then it could potentially show him focusing too much on this one thing that he's doing and not on everything around him.
Okay, well the problem with that is the problem with that is that there's still active people who can fight Akainu or can pose a threat to him in on the battlefield right now. And Akainu's like he's pretty battered up because he fought Whitebeard earlier. So like even if you want to say, well, he could just
Wait,
not
what if
be
he's
paying
not at
attention,
full power then?
huh? Not at full
What if he's
power.
not?
Full power shouldn't change his will because like we see base Luffy knocking around Kaido, even though it takes Gear 5 to fully put him down. So that should just imply that like your hockey should stay the same, even if you're like in base versus like full power or whatever.
Okay. So he gets. So you're saying these other people, like, are all of these other people using their observation hockey?
Yeah, they should be. It's an active battlefield with people who are around admiral level on the battlefield, and like admirals are pretty strong in this world.
It seems more like everybody of like the relevant characters are too busy focusing on this.
Focusing on what the Akainu coming over to the battlefield.
Not
Shanks. Sorry, Akainu trying to kill this guy.
yeah, this guy who's like fucking like screaming. Like there's specifically a panel of like all these relevant characters like focusing on whoever the fuck this like goofy ass kid is.
Oh, you're looking at the chapter right now.
Yeah, 579. It's like I'm looking at it and it's like there's this kid who runs up and he starts screaming, and people are like, "Oh, that's a Navy guy. Why is he doing this?" Even like pirates looking at him, they're like confused. And then he reels back his fist and then goes to punch him, and that's when Shanks appears.
Okay, so is that 578?
That's 579.
Okay, let me look at 579. All right.
Like, to me, all of this just gives the impression that like Shanks might be like a little faster, but like if we don't know his location, it's like unquantifiable. I'll say that in the panel before he punches, there's like a panel where he's like, "You've cost me precious seconds." Shanks doesn't seem to be in the area, but there's also smoke. Yeah, there's smoke everywhere. Never mind, doesn't matter.
Well, even if there's smoke, we just see observation even work through walls? Because like there's this guy later on.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like our vision, we can't see Shanks in this previous panel, so maybe he appeared suddenly, but there's smoke everywhere, so we wouldn't be able to see him.
Okay.
I was trying to I was like trying to work it out in my head if like he still could have come from a big distance, but we just don't know. Loki, you trying to say he came straight from the ship in that moment is insane.
Hey, bro, it's consistent. That nigga Shanks is crazy as hell, bro.
No. He's got a thick fucking neck. He's a freak.
Bro has no powers.
Shut up, Night Flame. God damn.
Bro, all he does is hit hard, bro. That's all he does.
Nigga, shut up. We're debating.
Don't you gas Toji? Whatever, bro. I don't care.
I told you. Toji got powers.
Yeah. You got a power right now, Night Flame. It's the power of being a bitch ass, little goofy ass retard. Stop talking, you fucking goblin, before I smack you. That motherfucker.
Why is my internet?
I'm gonna cry.
God damn. Where the hell is this damn panel?
It ain't nowhere.
Okay, a Navy guy. Bro, I might as well concede at this point because the guy who says a Navy guy, that was going to be one of the guys. If he wasn't in this panel, I might have been able to prove that because like, if he isn't focusing on the scene, and he should still have his observation on because, like there's still a war going on. If he wasn't paying attention, I could maybe make that argument because he should be one of the stronger guys there.
Controls.
Yeah, I'll just. Yeah, I guess I'll just. I can't.
So your boy's light speed then?
Yeah, he's light speed. Actually, no, I'm not going to concede the debate. I'm just going to say he's light speed.
I know. That's why I was specifically just talking about speed. But if that's the case, then I'm just going to say Naruto, a bare minimum, lowballed. There's like higher scaling I can bring up if there's more information, but the lowest like range I would say for him, he's able to react to somebody who is like light speed and just smack them before they can hit him.
All right, show me that, please.
Okay. I'm sure you remember the third Raikage effect.
I thought you said you were going to use Pain Arc.
Yeah, but I mean, does base Naruto and Sage Naruto get any stronger?
Well, you can imply because like Naruto overcomes his hatred, which he says he needs to like beat Sasuke, so that should just imply that he got stronger by overcoming his hatred.
I mean, he gets stronger.
What
does that mean? He gets like any stronger?
Okay,
are you talking about the waterfall? Hold on, actually, let me draw in my laptop really quick next to my phone. Okay, you're talking about the waterfall of truth, where he's like, "Oh yeah, these people gave me their autograph or whatever," right? Like you're saying, are you just saying like overcomes hatred in the sense like what do you mean by that?
Overcomes his hatred. Okay, so what I mean by that is like when he's talking to like the Konoha 11 or whatever, while they're like talking to him after the Five Kage summit, he's like beating Sasuke is not all about power. You also need I forget the exact phrasing, but he implies, well, I'll need to overcome my hatred as well because he's like, oh, I need the Nine Tails to beat.
I don't think that's what he says. Like I know what you're trying to say because you hear me say this all the time, but what I do is like inference, where I'm like, oh yeah, I infer that he's overcoming hatred. But what I mean when I say he's overcoming hatred is he's like controlling the Nine Tails, which is like a big embodiment of hatred. It's like a trial run before he like goes to save Sasuke.
Hmm.
Because him overcoming like hatred happens in like it happens in the pain arc. And I also don't think hatred even like nerfs or amps you anyway. Unless, I mean, if you're a new Uchiha, I mean, obviously it would. But like, I don't think it would like nerf you in any way because it's not as if like you're like you have reservations to fight or whatever. Like most like mental nerfs or mental debuffs or whatever you want to call
Okay. I mean, I guess that's fine then.
it. Okay. So then in the third Raikage fight, Naruto keeps up with, or he's able to dodge and hit the third Raikage with a Rasengan in Sage mode, and the third Raikage is like relative to or faster than KCM Naruto, who I think is faster than the fourth Raikage. So basically, the scale is Sage mode Naruto, relative to free A3, who I think is greater relative to KCM1 Naruto, greater than 2A.
Okay, so I see what you're saying. But the problem is, not only does Whitebeard have advanced conquers and advanced armament hockey, right, which are both like minor area of effect. He also has his devil fruit, which is kind of like advanced conquers, which also works on an area of effect range. So
Okay,
like let's say this hypothetical scenario were to happen where like a Whitebeard were to try to stab Luffy with his spear or whatever. Sorry, not Luffy, my fault. My fault. Naruto with his spear and like Naruto dodges, his advanced conquerors should still be able to hit him.
You know what? You know what's interesting about that, CJ? Naruto
Mhm.
has a very similar ability.
Yeah,
In
he has
stage
a
mode,
similar ability.
he has Frog Kata, and my scale puts Naruto faster than you have Prime Whitebeard.
Okay,
So
so
both
okay,
of
like
them,
I
so
said,
both of
even
them
if
punch.
he's
So both of them punch at one another, and Naruto's attack will just hit Whitebeard. It'll either hit him first, and Whitebeard's attack will hit second. And we've already agreed his AP overcomes Whitebeard's durability. So Naruto would even like if he gets hit in his organs, Whitebeard would die first. But even if I
he wouldn't. He wouldn't.
yes,
Like Whitebeard literally during Marineford, he has like two holes in his chest. He has like two heart attacks, and half
so
his
like
head
for
gets cut
example,
off.
if Naruto like blows his head off, would that like not work?
Uh, like when you say he has that ability, I'm assuming you're referring to Frog Kata. It's like where he
Yeah,
punches him. Yeah.
Rokata.
All right. What's like the range of that? Because like if it isn't enough to engulf like all of Whitebeard's face, I don't think you can make that argument. Because like that nigga, not only is he like 20 feet tall, so that should also mean his head is bigger than average. I don't think you could ever prove like its range is enough to
Yeah, but you're
affect.
like you're aware that like you can still punch somebody's head, not cover their whole head, and the force output by your punch will just still like destroy their head or whatever. Actually,
Well,
I don't even need to go this far. I'll just say Naruto throws a Rasen Shuriken and it just kills him,
mm,
just vaporizes him.
he throws a Rasen Shuriken.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, people in One Piece again. Like I already told you, what like Whitebeard endured throughout the war. People in
Yeah,
One
but
Piece can't survive.
I'm sure you're aware of how big the Rasen Shuriken's like explosion radius is, right? So that shit's like
Yeah.
faster than him, tags him, explodes, and then it just covers his body, and now Whitebeard is literally just atoms or whatever you think. I don't know, like
No.
just cellular.
Like if I remember correctly, the Rasen Shuriken attacks on a cellular level.
Yeah, but it
That's the
still has
way
like
it
a level
Durnex.
of AP.
Oh, I mean, oh, yeah, fuck. I shouldn't have been. Okay, fine. I guess I kind of lost here if I couldn't prove speed.
Yep. So yeah, there you go.
I
Is
mean,
that a
it's
concession, or are you like?
yeah,
Just,
I'm conceding.
that was good. That was a good run from CJ. I liked that. He did better than Night Flame when me and Night Flame debated the Sasuke versus Neji. So I'm just saying CJ greater than Night Flame.
Consistent.
Consistent. It's true.
I wish I could have done better, but I think I did okay.
Oh yeah, someone on